In this golf lesson, you're going to see a lesson that I gave my wife, Laura, beginner golfer, on how to strike her irons much better. You're going to see the whole process on how we got to feel what strike was like, how you achieve strike, then how you then start amplifying that strike so you can hit the ball further. I think we managed to gain about 30 plus yards, but come and look over my shoulder right now and see how we go through a process, because you know what? I think it could help you no matter your age, ability, or standard. Let's have a look. Okay. It's a good solid start, isn't it?
That didn't even register.
It has been a while. Okay.
That felt a bit better.
A little bit better. You can see there's some inconsistency there, isn't there, right? So let's start to look at some basics on helping you work through a bit more consistency in your swing, right? So the first thing I'm noticing in the way you're moving is there's quite a lot of moving parts. Right, so when you're swinging here, there's a lot of maybe up and down motion. When you're coming through, we can see that a lot of it is torso generated. I see this with a lot of golfers who struggle with a lot of distance. When they get to the top of the backswing here, their torso's really starting to kind of try and hit the ball very, very hard. They're not really organising it like you would do if you were throwing a ball, where you start with the lower ground, then the torso would come in, then the arm would come in, and we'd get that lovely throwing action. So what I think we should work through is trying to just get some simplicity into the swing, yeah? So we start to get, it becomes a bit more repeatable. And then if we've got time, once we start to get something more repeatable, then we'll start to kind of work out how we can amplify that a little bit, all right? So, goal number one. All we're gonna do is first is give you a couple of different exercises. So, just stand for a side. So, what I'm seeing, like I say, is there's quite a lot of moving parts. So the first thing I want you to recognise here, your posture looks pretty good, okay? But what I want you to imagine is when we're swinging, we don't want to see the head moving up and down too much when you're swinging, right? We don't want to see it going up and down here. You want to somehow be able to keep the angles. So when we're swinging back, you'll notice here, my backside stays back, okay? It doesn't, for instance, do this. Starts to get close to the ball, because if you get close to the golf ball, which I see a lot with a lot of players, you don't have then a lot of room, and then because you don't have a lot of room, you end up throwing these angles away, yeah? And what we want to be able to do through impact, we want to be able to get that club, so that shaft lean, look, is ahead of that golf ball impact consistently, right? To be able to do that, your body is going to have to rotate effectively through impact, yeah? If you're moving around a lot, it's going to be very difficult, okay? So let me give you just one simple exercise to start with, which is going to help you with some simple feels of how to get that lovely compression. So just throw the club down for a minute. Okay, so all I want you to do is take your right hand, okay, and literally put an arch in it. So you're going to fit, that's it, so it's going to go upwards like this, okay? Now, what you're doing a lot of, you've got this feeling of this. Wristy. This motion, yeah? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give you a feeling of what impact's supposed to be like, yeah? Rough idea of what it's supposed to be like. That gives you a destination to go for, right? So if you just move your right wrist back, okay? Now with your left hand, okay, I want you to put it on the back of that wrist. So it looks, you can either do that way, yeah? Or turn it around, it's entirely up to you. Now I want you to feel when you're doing this, that when this is back, and this is hands on top, you're going to put a pressure against it, right?
Pressure on the bottom hand.
With the bottom hand, it's going upward. You feel like it's pushing against this top hand, yeah? Now, all I want you to do now is this. Make a backswing for me, just about halfway. Feel that pressure always. Now, as you come down into impact, keep feeling that pressure on that top hand as you come through. Pause there. Good. Hold that there. Now, this is a position that you don't generally get into. What do you feel there?
I feel more movement in my lower body.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now what happens when you've got that pressure, that lower body is going to want to work a lot more. The problem is watch, when you get here, if you've already thrown those angles away, your lower body doesn't have to do anything. Yeah? So that's what we're going to start with initially, just giving you that sensation of what impact roughly is, and what kind of feelings you might want to experience, roughly experience, okay? If you wanted, you could imagine it almost like, if you imagine a tennis racket here, okay? And what you're doing in reality is you're simply, rather than doing this, you're holding it back like this, all the way. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. Hold it in a tennis racket in your lead hand, put the palm here.
In a way, that's easier as well, because you haven't got this long.
Yeah, so you could try it, exactly, same kind of thing. Anything, so hold it in your left hand, and then put your palm on this bit here, okay? That's it from there. Just let the left arm extend. Okay, that's it there. And then just from here, just really sense that kind of there. That's there. Feel different there? Yeah, that's it. So the temptation would be to do this.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back. And you're feeling like there's that resistance there. Okay, good. Awesome. Got it? Okay, cool.
Oh, that felt a bit better.
Yeah. Good. Okay, now look at this here, look. See the low point there, look? So the 1.2 inches after the golf ball. So what you've done there is you've struck the ball, then the ground. So we haven't, obviously we're nowhere near getting speed up at this stage, but you're just starting to experience, bit by bit, this motion, yeah? Now what I would do is intermingle this, yeah, with a few exercises, again, so that you put the club down. It's what you do on a practice ground, put the club down, just put the palm up there again, do a couple of exercises, just again, same principles, just starting to experience this motion. Because we have it all the time, me included, you know, we start hitting a few decent shots, we get a bit carried away, and then we start to hit after hit, and then we lose the feeling, yeah? So just keep reminding yourself, so maybe just pause for a second now, put the club down on the ground, just rehearse that motion. Feel the pressure on that top hand, keep that pressure on that top hand, keep that pressure on that top hand, keep that pressure, brilliant. Now you'll notice I keep putting the club here. Yeah, well, just by me putting the club just on this side of your head, what it's kind of hopefully helping you do is you're not doing this. Because you know, sometimes we've seen with your swing in the past that you want to try and hit from the top. So you've noticed there that when that club's there, it almost gets you to use the lower body a lot more than the whole thing, working like a block. Yeah. Yeah, all right, cool.
Okay. Half swing or full swing?
You're tempted to go full, aren't you? Half swing for now.
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that felt better.
Different sound.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now look at how effortless that is, right?
Yeah.
Naturally your numbers are nice and straight, still a fraction behind the ball, but nothing as it was before. Carry's starting to creep up a little bit now, yeah? And again, distance at this stage, none of that's important, because if you get your strike, yeah, if we nail this and you get the feel of this, all you do is what?
Yeah.
You just go longer. You go harder at it, yeah? All right?
Sorry, I tried to whack it there. Couldn't help myself.
There's a time and a place. There's a time and a place. You're gonna. Nice.
That felt nice.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. See, I think, are you starting to get the feel of this kind of motion coming through? Yeah, cool. So you probably found that at the moment there's probably not enough speed with that, right? Because you're just trying to sense impact at the moment. So the way you then start to build that and add a bit of speed so you can start to add some power is to actually chuck the club down for a second, okay? And what I'm going to get you to do, if you stand there for a moment, you need to start to get your whole body starting to work to help you generate power. Now, if you throw a ball, yeah, you'll always throw it and the lower ground will always lead, followed by your torso, followed by your arm, followed by the hands. But it's not always easy to feel it, yeah? So we're sometimes just doing some simple exercises where a medicine ball will be better because it's heavier, okay, but I'm going to add a bit of resistance to this. If you grab a ball, and all we're going to do is this. You know we've got to keep this angle if we can, just get a sense of it through impact. But if you grab a ball like this, and you could, if there's not a second person here, you could just add a shelf. Just simply place the ball on the shelf here. So notice how this, I've turned and faced it. I haven't done this and this, I've simply turned over here. Now from there, I'm going to add a bit of resistance. I'm going to hold on to this ball, and you're going to kind of pull against me here. But then what you're going to do is you're then just simply going to go and throw it against the screen.
Right, okay.
Now you'll notice, if you do this with me actually, you get yourself set, So all you're going to do here is just imagine placing the ball on a shelf right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of resistance. Get your arms a bit closer to your body. There you go. That way you've got more control.
Yeah.
You follow? Yeah. So you know you can use a power body. Now I'm going to, if I was holding on to this and you with your lower body were going to resist and go in the opposite direction, what would you do? Right. Now from here, throw against there. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the temptation here is to throw this way. See if you can throw it under a little bit more. So you're underneath here, okay? So same again. Put it on the shelf, okay? Yeah. Keep your arms nice and connected there for a second, okay? I'm going to add a bit of resistance. Now, with that resistance, you're going to use the lower body to move back to the target.
Right, okay.
Off you go. All right, my back, and now throw against the screen. Ready? Beautiful. You feel that?
Yes. I definitely feel in my side.
Yeah. Hit which side?
Sort of here.
Awesome. So yeah, so what you're doing here is, look, you're using that there, so you're kind of getting ready, forming a platform to throw. This will again stops all this kind of flickiness, because if you didn't do that, you just go here. It makes sense.
That's what I'm doing with the golf club.
Definitely, yeah. Keep going, and I want some impulse with this, okay? So a lot of times when we're playing golf, it all looks sometimes when people start to do this, it's because what they're doing is they don't have any kind of impulse. When you throw a ball, you don't throw it like this. What do you do? Yeah. Right. So when you're here and you've got, imagine that ball's quite heavy. Arms there, move, feel like pulling. Someone's resisting, and then we're here. Look, throw it. That's better. Make sense? Move it and put the club handle on the shelf. Fantastic. So you're going to even turn and face a little bit more here. Now from this position, now again, imagine you're not going to pull down your arms. You're going to recenter, and then throw the club like you're throwing the ball. Got it? Yeah. Okay, awesome. And again. Okay, one more time. This time when you do it, okay, don't throw it with your torso. Look at this here. Throw it. And even if you have to stop short. There. Yeah. Snappier. Yeah? Yeah? Snappier. So you don't, when you threw the ball there, you didn't go. Yeah. What do you do? Yeah, so you stop. Feel like you're almost going to stop, because when you stop, your body has to put on the brakes to throw that. There you go. Can you feel your core working a bit more there? Better, isn't it? Yeah, much better. Nice 81 carry there, 2.2 inches after the golf ball, it's better, right? Yeah. Speed's creeping up a little bit as well. So just take your time, right, with this, rehearse it, put it on the shelf, just get a sense of that recentering here, fire, and then it's a very short fire, yeah, like a real good impulse. Get in there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. The nice thing is what you're doing is your low point here, 4.1 inches after the golf ball, you're starting to get the compression that we wanted. Yeah. It's not exactly where we need to be. Speed. Look at the club head speed there. Up to 60 miles an hour now. Yeah. Yeah. Starting to ramp up. We've lost a little bit of direction at the moment. That's all right. We're in that kind of like stage where you're kind of amplifying possibly a bit early. But it doesn't matter. I think this is good. I think you, in your own way now, you've got an idea. You're playing around with this speed. I'd stick with exactly.
The more that I practice this, the more consistent
yeah.
I'll be with it.
Yeah, and you can always. The thing about all this, you can always go back and return to the drill where you feel this. Remind yourself of impact, that sensation, compression. You can't play golf like that as such because it's too wooden. Yeah. So then somehow you've got to then start to add some rhythm and pace to that motion, and naturally that won't be as good as it was initially. Throw the ball to do that. Put it on the shelf, throw it. With that throw, it's not this, is it? From here, my backside's on the wall. The left butt cheek comes back onto the wall. That's me recentering, but I'm not doing this. I'm recentering, get myself ready to fire, and it's those legs, using those legs to fire this and throw this as hard as I can, but I'm not doing this. Yeah, okay, come on. There we go, 85-yard carry. Yeah. So we've lost a little bit of direction, but that's okay. So what you're doing now is you're getting familiar with speed, where speed's going to come from. And now it's a case of just starting to dial that in terms of accuracy. And with a bit of practice, you're going to be able to do that. So let's take a couple more and just go through the same process. Feel what it's like there to throw that club. There you go. Okay. That's just a different sound altogether. Look at the difference that way. So you're 89 yards in carry. If we add the total onto that on TrackMan, there you go. So you've got like 103 yards now, okay?
First I'm going to hit it.
Yeah, and the speed's coming up, right? Look at the actual speed there. So you're 60 miles an hour, pretty much the speed. Now, what was brilliant about that, you really had the impulse. There wasn't this long motion, flowing motion. It was like, whoo! Yeah, that's where that snap's going to come in. So what we'll do is just see if we can get that little bit more snap into this motion. See if we can get that carry up a little bit more. So all you're doing is you almost need to imagine that you're stopping here to a certain degree, yeah? You can hear that sound, can't we? So the direction's going to be miles off. 91 yards.
115.
Yeah, right. So we're getting some speed. It's okay, we've got some speed now. All right, so the power, we need to dial it in. Good. Keep going.
It might be not going in the right direction.
That's not going in the right direction. But look, this is good. You know, it's a 7-iron for you. So, so same principles. Just keep winding it back. You can always rehearse, by the way. That's nice and straight, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we want to play around with, just to kind of finish off. So I think in summary there, you can see that the process that we're going through here started off feeling impact. So you've got this kind of like backward hinge on the hand. You feel what that's like, yeah? Second stage, it's like, how do you amplify that? Well, you can't just go and start smashing it. If anything, we'll try to rush through this process out because I know we've got to pick the kids up. But grabbing that football, start in with some small shots and then just practicing throwing it. So notice this, if I grab that ball, wherever it is, look, I can grab a thing here. When that's there, you're kind of really getting the force here. You're going into the sleeve side, then you throw, yeah? Getting that sensation and combining that, by the way, with a snap, yeah? So, I don't know where that ball's disappeared. That ball's right behind me. If I pop in here, combining that so that we aren't just doing this, but instead we're actually going snap. So you almost feel like you're stopping short. That gives you that speed. And that's when you start to ramp up the power, yeah? But we do it in stages, all right? Awesome, thanks so much for joining us.
That's okay.
Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, maybe share it with somebody else who you think could benefit. And of course, look, if you're new to the channel, come and join the community by pressing that subscribe button down there. And look, this video right up here complements this one really well. We've got these live lessons going, seem to be really enjoying it. If you're enjoying it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. But until next week, have a great golfing week.